Hey everyone, Sarah here from Blue Lotus Films. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. I share video production and video marketing tutorials every single week on this channel for wellness business owners to raise their visibility, generate leads, and increase their income. Now be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when I release new videos. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the YouTube Studio Video Editor 2020. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial. The YouTube Studio Video Editor has been around for many years, but if you're just getting started with YouTube, then you might not even know that it exists. And even if you have heard of the YouTube Studio Editor, you may not know what capabilities it has to improve your videos. Now, it isn't a fully featured video editing software. It's a great option for doing some basic video editing for your videos. The YouTube Studio Editor is browser-based, so there's no need to download any software and it's completely free. So let's jump right into the tutorial. Okay, so we are now here on my YouTube channel homepage. And to get to the YouTube Studio, you've got to click on your icon here on the upper right-hand side, get over to YouTube Studio. And then we're gonna land here on the dashboard. And you'll see that it is not intuitive how you can access the YouTube editor. This is the 2020 version of the YouTube Studio. And I believe that they really should have this on the left-hand side so that lots of people can easily access it. And this perhaps is why a lot of people don't even know that the YouTube editor actually exists. But the way that you'll get to it is, one of the easiest ways is by going to the comments, and you are going to scroll down and find a video you want to edit. Just choose a video. And I'm clicking here on this 0 to 100 subscribers. And you'll see it's going to be loading the comments. And as soon as the comments are loaded, you'll see here on the left-hand side, the editor menu pops up. So when I click on editor, I'm going to be editing this video, the one that I just chose and is here in the thumbnail. So now we are in the editor interface, and you'll see here, it's a very simple interface. This is your canvas where you're going to preview your video. And then below this canvas is your timeline. So you'll see within the timeline, it's giving you literally the time code as you go through the timeline. And then I want to point out on these tracks here, these are called tracks. So you have a video track, an audio track. They have what is called the end screen track, which is where you can add different videos at the end of your video, you know, getting people to watch other videos on your channel. You can also add a playlist. I'll go through the options there, but that is the end screen track. And then we also have a track for blurring parts of your video, which can come in useful in certain instances. But the most important thing you want to be paying attention to with this video editor is the opportunity to trim your videos, to create a shorter video from this video that's already uploaded on YouTube. And just love that little thumbnail pause that I had there. So essentially what you're going to be looking for is, where do you want to cut your video? And these are very simple edits. Unfortunately, with the YouTube editor, you can't add another clip to this video. You can't add additional media other than the music, which, as I pointed out, you can alter your audio track. But this is really good for trimming your video and splitting out parts of your video that you don't want in your video anymore. So how you get started on this is you're going to hit the trim button. And you'll see here we have these blue bars that kind of make a rectangle over my whole entire video. So this is capturing the video from beginning to end. And what I want to do is I want to make some choices. where do I want the in and the out points to be on my cuts when I'm trimming this video? So here is my current in point. If I drag this blue bar, you'll see it's actually coming in. And now I'm at about 1 minute and 50 seconds into the video. And then I could drag it here. I could have the out point come in a little sooner. And then everything that's grayed out here is not going to be in the video. Okay, so let's actually do a live example here. If I wanted to include everything in my video, but let's say I actually want this little graphic here to not appear. For some reason, I don't want this graphic. Then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to split this video into parts. So I'm going to go down here on the bottom, and I'm first going to place the playhead exactly where I want this video to split. And when I have that playhead, this bar here that I'm moving back and forward, that's called the playhead. So just place it at the exact point where you want to split your video and hit split. And you'll see now I have 2 separate clips. So again, where this is grayed out, that is what I'm going to be removing from the video. And now I have my out point here. So I'm saying I want this particular clip to end, and then I want it to begin again over here. So we can go ahead and preview this. And it is a browser-based editing program, so it's not perfect. You see how I just hit preview and it actually didn't preview right away. But what you can do is you can have that playhead at the point where you want to preview, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Just place it a little bit before the edit point and hit play. So you can see it removed that graphic very simply. Now it did make a jump cut, and I will be clear that I am not in favor of jump cuts. I will never promote jump cuts on my channel, which is essentially no transition. So this is one of the downsides of the YouTube editor. It's very basic, very minimal trimming and splitting. And so you can't, in other words, go in here and add a transition. Hopefully in the future, the YouTube editor will add other features. I think that would be an amazing feature, you know, just to be able to add a fade out right here at the end, and then it fades up to this new point so we don't have a jump cut. Okay, so now let's say for some reason I don't like what I edited. I can undo. So it will undo one change at a time. I can keep undoing, and it's going to go all the way back to the beginning. I could also do clear all, and that will eliminate all the changes that I've made. But you do have that option to just undo one change at a time so that you don't lose all of your revisions. Now, the other things I want to show you here is being able to alter the music. So if I expand it here, I have this option to go into the YouTube audio library. And this I don't find to be very intuitive. It's not intuitive either, but again, we're working within a browser. There's limitations anytime you're going to be editing video footage within a browser. But being that YouTube is such a huge platform and is so popular, I do hope that they will add a little bit more features in the future and make this a bit more intuitive. So when you're coming on here to this audio page, you're going to have the opportunity to scroll through the YouTube audio library. And these are all licensed audio tracks that you can have an option to add to your video. So I can go through here and I can preview different tracks just to listen to them. And we're not going to preview them during this tutorial, but you do have that option, you know, just by hitting play and seeing if the music fits the tone of your video. And we want to pay attention to what the time frame is. Like, do I need to replace the audio in the entire video? Do I want the music track for this entire video? What is the actual time frame that I need to replace the audio? So let's just say I want to replace it in the whole entire video, that I would like to have a nice music track. So I'll want to look for a time code that's almost 9 minutes long. And now that might be kind of hard to find, but there is one here that is 10 minutes. So we can try adding this particular track to our video. And then in this window, it gives you an opportunity to preview that audio. So I am able to hear it now and see if it fits with my video. Now, another option that you have is to favor the original audio or favor the music. And essentially that is very, very basic sound mixing. So favoring the original audio is going to make the original audio louder than the music. Favoring the music is obviously going to make the music a little bit louder than the original audio. So this is good in a case where you only want the music for a certain portion of the video. You can have a little bit of flexibility with your volume, but again, this is very, very basic. Now, you also have the option here to go ahead and decrease the timing of that music track. So if I didn't want it for the whole entire video, then I could set my in and my out point just by dragging the beginning and the end of this audio clip. And unfortunately, every time you mess with this audio, it's playing your video, which really is distracting. But again, you do have the option, you know, to really get refined with where the audio is going to appear in your video. Now, here's a part where I find it to not be so intuitive, so I want to go over this carefully with you. When you are going to save your changes, you are going to not want to hit them until you are absolutely positive this is the music track you're going to use. You will see this pop-up message and it isn't very clear. So I would like to clarify that when you hit save changes, that is saving it. And it is telling YouTube, I want this immediately to go onto my video and I want it to appear live. So if I did hit save here, it is going to give my live video a new audio track. So you want to be very careful about hitting save. In other words, what would be intuitive is if we hit the change here, but it really only affected how we're previewing our video. So it in my opinion, adds to some confusion that you're working with two different windows here for the audio and the video. That's the way it is currently. So just be mindful. You only want to hit those save changes when you're sure this is how the new audio is going to be on your video. Now you can certainly revert to original or just return to YouTube Studio. When you return, all the changes are not going to be saved. So unfortunately, you don't get a ton of opportunity to preview the audio with other changes you might be making to the video. Now, what this means is that you're essentially just going to want to do all of your changes to the video and then work on the audio portion. So, you know, this is the way we do it with professional editing as well, but this is not so intuitive to a new video editor. Okay, so you do have an opportunity here to add an end screen, and you do that by clicking Add Element. So let's say I want to add a video. I want to point people at the end of this video that we are looking at. I want them to go watch another video on my channel. So that's what we call an end screen. And I can choose here, most recent upload. It looks like it's only giving me one option because I've already chosen best for viewer. I already have that end screen. So the option I have is most recent upload, and I can choose the time code here on when I want this to appear. Okay? So that gives you some nice options. I could also add a playlist, and I can add some other options to direct people to other things on my YouTube channel. And then the last thing here is you can add a blur. And again, this is taking us to a different page outside of that primary editor, but you do have the option to blur faces or do custom blurring. Again, this is in a browser, so be patient with it. It will take some time for you to kind of get precise on the faces that you might blur or any objects you're blurring. And this is really useful if you're making a documentary, for instance, and you want to blur out someone's face, or you want to blur a logo if you don't have permission to promote a certain company. You should be blurring logos and other promotional materials. So this is really helpful to have that option, and that pretty much covers it for the YouTube Studio. The last thing I want to show you is the keyboard shortcuts. So by clicking on those three dots, I get to the keyboard shortcuts, and it tells me all the different commands that I can use to be able to navigate this YouTube Studio editor very easily. Okay, so another funny face that we've paused on, and that pretty much covers it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on my channel, and thank you so much for watching. So I also want to show you, so one other feature that I want to show you is zooming in and zooming out on your timeline. So you can see this little magnifying glass. This is going to zoom in on the right-hand side, and this is for zooming out. And so as I can just move this slider to zoom in or zoom out, or I can press the buttons, or I can use one of the keyboard shortcuts, which I will show you in just a moment. But this is helpful for getting really precise on your editing, because as I move this playhead here, I can see exactly where I'm going to be cutting in the video. So I've zoomed in, and now I'm zooming out. And you can see as I zoom out even further, it's hard to tell exactly where I'm cutting. So you do have that option there to magnify your timeline. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial has been really helpful to you. I'll include some timestamps for the editing features in the description below. So in case you want to watch this video in the future, you'll have some reference points with those timestamps, and you can just jump to a certain topic. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get notified every time I release new videos. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.